guys, welcome back to my channel, and for today's video I'm going to be doing a long and awaited video, and that is how I met Taylor Swift and ended up in Loft 89. For those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Crystal. Thank you so much for joining. Please make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and make sure to click that subscribe button down below as I make videos every single week, including random videos just like this one. I also have a vlog channel, which I will leave a link down below in the description, as well as an annotation somewhere above. So make sure to go check that out if you're into concerts, celebrities, traveling. You guys will definitely want to check that out. This video is going to be very long, so I'm going to stop talking and I'm just going to get right into the reaction video. It all started out in October 2015. Taylor Swift's tour was coming to Toronto, Canada, and Shawn Mendes, who is from Ontario, Canada, just a little outside of Toronto in Pickering, Ontario, was going to be opening. So the morning of the show, I spent all day checking on Ticketmaster and the box office, seeing if they had any tickets available, and lo and behold, Ticketmaster had hundreds and hundreds of tickets. I had spent hours and hours refreshing, and finally a seat came up, and I knew it was an aisle seat because I had an aisle seat for the same section. As soon as I got that seat, I snatched it up and I bought it, and I looked at the time and I had to rush myself to get ready. So as soon as I got to the arena, I met up with my really good friend, Babak, who was also there. He was very excited because we both are super fans of Shawn Mendes. And so we decided to sit next to each other since I had a better and closer seat to Shawn. Finally, it was getting close to Taylor coming on stage, and the people sitting next to me finally started arriving. Babak sadly had to leave and go back to his seat, and I said goodbye to him, and the girls came and sat in their seats. I noticed as the girls were sitting down that I recognized two of them because I've seen them around at different concerts, events, meeting celebrities, all that kind of stuff in Toronto. Finally the show came on and it got dark and I was filming and I was recording and I was really excited because I had been a super huge fan of Taylor growing up, but because I had a very hard home life, I was never able to afford to attend a Taylor Swift concert, so it was a very big deal that this was my very first show. The girls sitting next to me were decked out. They had a whole costume outfit. They made a huge prop item and were doing everything in their power to try and get picked to meet Taylor. I remember seeing their photo on social media from the last tour when they were chosen and got to meet Taylor. During the concert, I kept noticing that I was moving farther and farther into the aisle. Security kept coming over to me and threatening me that if I kept going into the aisle, that they were going to throw me out of the concert. I kept getting pushed into the aisle by the girls sitting next to me because they kept wanting to get closer to the aisle so that in hopes whoever is picking people to meet Taylor that night would recognize them. During one of the songs, I remember a huge crowd of people coming into our aisle, and the girls next to me started jumping up and down, started freaking out. The two people that came into our aisle were dancing, and finally I realized what was happening. Taylor's mom was picking them to meet Taylor Swift. In that moment, I was a little angry because I know the girls have met Taylor before, and I thought it was unfair, not for myself, but because there's 50,000 people in the arena, and 99% of them have never had an opportunity to meet Taylor. And so many people were there dressed up, they had posters, they made like prop decorations, they were going all out, doing everything they possibly could to get picked to meet Taylor. I looked over at the woman that was working with Taylor's mom in choosing fans to meet Taylor, and I said to her, but they've already met Taylor. But wait, they've already met Taylor. And I said it maybe 2 or 3 times, and the woman finally turns around and goes, are you sure? And I said, yes, I'm positive. I know the girls have seen their photos with Taylor. Taylor's mom ends up turning around and saying the same thing to me, are you sure? I repeated and said, yes, I'm positive, and I told her the exact same thing I told the other woman. After that, Taylor's mom took about a minute or two and paused, finally turned back around and said, you know, it's going to be really hard for you to sit next to these girls after saying this about them. I'm going to have to ask you to come with me and sit with me for the rest of the show. So I followed along with Taylor's mom. We get to the pit. She puts me in the pit. She gives me a wristband, which I have right here. It says B stage. Looks just like this. After that, she put it on my wrist and I was inside the pit. Taylor's mom probably stayed in the pit for about 5 minutes or so, and then she got up and left. After about 5 or 10 minutes, Taylor's mom comes back into the pit and called me over. She then proceeds to tell me that she thanked me so much for telling her about these girls, that she found some footage somewhere, I don't know where, but that she had some proof that the girls were 100% at the meet and greet after the show with Taylor at Club Red. I then stopped and I leaned closer and I began to explain to Taylor's mom why I did what I did. The reason why I did what I did was because of those 50,000 people in the arena that are decked out and they have posters, and I pointed to the girls that had the poster for an example and said it's girls like them who worked so hard on their poster and just, you know, are doing everything in their power to try and meet Taylor. She then stopped and told me that those 2 girls there had already been chosen from a higher section and were brought into the pit, and they already received something from them. She then paused again, looked at me and said, "But I think you should go." And I said, "Really?" And she said, "Yeah, I think you should go. I think you should." I gave her a big hug. I said, "Thank you, oh my God, you know, just," I was in shock. All I can say was I was in shock. After that, Taylor's mom left the pit, and then I was confused. I didn't know what was happening. Was I meeting Taylor or was I not? The girls that I had been talking to in the pit during the show had came over to me and asked me what had happened. I told them that I thought I was meeting Taylor, but her mom left, so I wasn't sure. 5 minutes later, Taylor's mom comes back and she shows up with this wristband, and she showed up with this Loft paper right here, and she says to me, and I remember this very distinctly, "You promised me you've never met Taylor." I looked her dead in the eye and I said, "No, I have never met Taylor." She then proceeds to give me the paper and put the wristband on, and she told me to follow the paper and go to the section after the show and congratulated me, and I just stood there kind of in shock. I didn't know I didn't know how to feel. Finally, the show ended and I went to the section where the paper told me to go, and everyone started arriving and we were escorted backstage. We were told that we were allowed to take as many pictures as we want backstage and in the loft, but the rule was the moment Taylor walks in the loft, no more pictures. I remember walking in there and there being cookies and pizza and pop and water and juice. There was also a photo booth in there, which I thought was really cool. I ended up obviously going into the photo booth, and the photo booth takes 3 photos and it prints out 2 copies. So I got my copy right here. Finally, Taylor came in and we were told to get into our groups, and by groups it meant who you were chosen to go to Loft with. And when it was my turn, she finally came up to me and she was so tall. I had to look up to her and I said to her, "Wow, you are so tall." She said to me back, "Wow, you didn't expect me to be this tall?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't." I then talked to Taylor about Selena Gomez. I told her that her and Selena were best friend goals, and that I was really looking forward to her new album coming out and her tour, and that's when Taylor let me know that her favorite song off the album was Hands to Myself. Then I told Taylor how this was my very first time seeing her on tour and that I was never able to afford to attend a show before, but now that I am a young adult, I was able to save up and attend her show, and I was very excited to be there. She asked me if I enjoyed the show, and I told her that I absolutely loved it. I thought she did an awesome job. Then it was was time to take our photo, and the woman takes my camera and takes our photo. So this is my photo with Taylor. And after that, she signs one item for me. Finally, it was time to leave, and we were escorted out of the venue, and that was my experience in meeting Taylor. So much for watching. That was my experience and how I met Taylor Swift and got into Loft. If you guys made it this far into this video, well, thank you. I appreciate you so very much. Please make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and make sure to click that subscribe button down below as I make videos every single week, including random videos just like this one. I hope you guys really enjoyed that. I also have a vlog channel where I post all things from concerts, events, meeting celebrities, and traveling. So make sure to check that out. I will have a link down in the description box for all of you. And thank you guys so much once again for joining, and I hope to see you guys very soon. Bye!